everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Successful Immigrant Talk Show. Today on Life as an Immigrant, I have with me Oghale Okedu. She is a registered engineer with the Professionals Engineer Ontario, and she currently works as a reliability engineer with Valet Canada. She's married, likes learning new things, meeting new people. She enjoys sports and she likes traveling. Welcome to the show, Regina.
Thank you, Kemi. Thank you. Thank you for
having me.
How are you doing? I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. And it's so nice having you with us today. So let's just cut straight to the issue at hand. We're talking about life as an immigrant. Why? This is usually the number one question I ask everyone. Why did you decide to immigrate?
Yes, so I'll tell a story to that question.
All right, let's hear it.
I was introduced to the oil and gas industry as an industrial trainee. So that's a program in Nigeria where you go to the company, work for 6 months as an undergraduate, and then go back to complete your degree. So I did that for 6 months.
That's like an internship, right? That's what it's called on this side.
Yeah, that's like co-op in Canada.
Okay.
So, cool. Yeah. So I did that, went back to school, graduated with a second class in electrical electronic engineering. And I went back to the company, worked with them briefly before I went for my compulsory youth service in Nigeria. So I traveled to Akure for that. When I finished, in order to boost my resume, I decided to travel to the UK for my master's degree. So I went to the UK, got my master's degree in subsea engineering. Then I went back to Nigeria in 2015. But unfortunately, the price of crude oil had crashed.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
When I got back, in order to gain that offshore experience, I volunteered because I didn't want to stay at home, so I volunteered and I was working with this company, and then license almost expired. So when I went to the office to get it renewed, I met a former course mate. So his name is Patrick. So I met Patrick at the office and we got talking. So Patrick said, Regina, I hope you heard of that Australian visa. I said, what visa? He said, there is this visa for graduate engineers. You can go to Australia for 18 months. I said, really? How come I didn't hear about this? But I was in the UK with all of you, and they said, you were in London working, but your friends knew about it. He didn't tell you. So I said, oh no, he didn't mention it. And I was going to visit this friend and his family after I was done from the license office. So I went to his house, spent some time with him and his wife and son. And then I said, I just saw Patrick and he mentioned one Australian visa. Why didn't you tell me about it? He said, oh, Regina, we never talked about Australia. We only talked about going to Canada. I said, no, it's an opportunity. Why not? Let's try.
It's important.
Yes. So I applied for that visa and I got it. And I told my dad, I said, Daddy, I can't continue like this in Nigeria. I need to travel. And he said, you want to travel to Australia? I said, yes. He said, but we don't know anyone there. I said, doesn't matter. I'll be okay.
I can imagine.
My dad, yeah, because I'm the youngest of 5. So he said,
that is girl.
He said, yeah. So he said, oh, okay. Okay. And that was how I traveled in 2017 out of Nigeria to Australia. Wow. Yes.
Interesting. So how did Australia land in Canada?
Yes. So I told my friend, right? No, it's an opportunity. Why not take it?
Yeah.
So in Australia, I worked there, but not as an engineer. I worked as a support worker. Oh. And I kept telling myself, before I left, my dad said, don't forget you're an engineer. I said, yes, Daddy.
Absolutely.
So I kept working there, but I really wanted to work as an engineer. So with that 18-month visa I got, I had the option of applying for the Australian permanent residency. And then there was the Canadian permanent residency through the Express Entry program.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I remembered what my sister also told me when I was leaving for Australia. She said, and now I will speak the Nigerian broken English. She
okay,
said,
yeah, let's hear it.
Oghale, it's not that you are going to Australia. You don't lost, so we know visit you, which means they won't visit me.
Australia is so far, right?
Yes,
like from Nigeria, it's going to take, it's not for the lily-livered to travel.
You know?
You don't lost.
Because it took 19 hours when I was going to Australia. So then I remembered what she told me. She said they won't visit. So I had the option of applying for the Australian permanent residency or the Canadian one. So I opted for the Canadian one because while I was studying in the UK, I came to Canada for a conference. So when I remembered vividly, when I came here, I like country, but I said, because I love traveling, I said, I would like to stay here, but I want to visit Australia first. And I had not even known of that Australian part when I said it.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I applied for the Canadian presidency, and in 2018, I moved to Canada.
Wow, interesting story. I'm sure your sister will realize now that, okay, again, it's not really totally, completely lost. Canada is closer to Nigeria than Australia ever is, right?
Yes. It's closer to Nigeria. It's very close to the US. It's 7 hours from the UK, you know, so you can easily, I have an auntie that is coming in 2 days from London, you know, so it's very close. Yeah, it's very close.
Oh, that is so interesting.
But Australia is a very nice place to visit. Yeah.
Actually, I haven't been there, but that's what I heard. And I don't know. Anyway, so cool. So eventually you landed in Canada. Nice. So when you got here, what was your expectation? Like when you decided to, I know we've spoken about the fact that it's closer to Nigeria and you could have your family members visiting, but what was your expectation? Like, were you expecting, okay, I'll get here, I'll get a job, or what were your thoughts? Apart from your family being able to visit you?
Yeah, very high expectations. I said, okay, now that I'm coming here, I would work as an engineer here. In Australia, I had 2 jobs. I said, now that I'm here, I will not do 2 jobs. I need the time to apply for an engineering job because, you know, when you have 2 jobs, you don't even have the time to apply for what you want to apply for.
No.
You are consumed in that thing and it's not what you really want to do. So that experience from Australia, I took it here and I said, I will never do 2 jobs. I need to myself the time to apply for the engineering I want to have here in Canada. Yeah, so I had very high expectations and, you know, seeing a lot of immigrants here too that are doing well, you know, so, you know, you have that hope that your color doesn't really play, it's not a disadvantage. You can have that dream job here as long as you're qualified. Yeah. So I had very high expectations.
That's beautiful. And the fact that you had a plan too, because if you had come here and then like, oh yeah, I'm here and then all the jobs I can get, all the money I can make, like you said, you will not have time to be able to prepare and get your certification as an engineer, right? So having a plan and then having your expectation, having that dream, keeping it alive, that's what I hear from you. And yeah, that's really awesome. So after 1 month, how was it panning out? Like your expectations, your desires?
After 1 month, I said, oh my goodness, hope I've not made a mistake. I was making a lot of money in Australia. Now I'm here. I don't have the engineering job. And it's not, the hope of getting it wasn't even that high after 1 month. So I said, okay, I would go back to being a support worker, but one job, so that I'll have time to apply for my engineering job. So after 1 month, honestly speaking, I questioned the the thought of coming here. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
But then I'm happy I continued, held that. So I continued, I stayed, I did only one job, and then here I am today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Interesting story. So by the time you got here, after a month, after 2 months, after 3 months, down the line, what did you think you could have done better to prepare for, the new life that you just found yourself in, life in Canada? What do you think? I know you've traveled to the UK, you've been in Australia, but is there anything you think, okay, maybe if I'd done this better, maybe if I prepared this way, it would have made things easier for me?
Yeah, so I would say reaching out to people in the field I wanted to find my field. So if you reach out to people that are already doing what you want to do and ask them how they were able to get that successful, what they did, so you don't repeat the same mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if I did that earlier, I'm sure I've made a lot of difference.
Yeah, I know. I mean, a lot of times we say we need to network, but networking not just blindly, like with a purpose. Looking for people that are into what you want to do, people that are already gone ahead of you, like you said, so that you're not repeating the same mistakes, right? And that is one of the reasons why we have the Successful Immigrant, why I decided to okay, this has to be done. Because in my own case, working with new immigrants, and like you said, I've realized that sometimes we don't know. And what you don't know will bite you.
Yes. What you don't know is more than you. That's what they say. If you don't know it, it's more than you. But if you know it, then it's even so small, to achieve. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
So reaching out to people already
Mm-hmm.
in that field, that would really help. And that would have helped me. Because I know some people now that are my colleagues that they have to do something less before this engineering job because they spoke to the right people and they were able to get their current job without that stress or struggle, So, yeah. So
Absolutely. So reaching out to people, networking. So after 1 year, I'm not sure at this time, did you already have a job, like engineering job, or were you still looking?
After 1 year, I was still working as a support worker.
Oh,
but then networking, I'm talking to the right people, right? And that's why I'm talking to you today. So I went to get my hair done. I was talking to my hairstylist, and she said, "Oh, I know one engineer. I'm going to talk to her about you. She's a professional engineer. She's doing really well, and I'll try to link you up with her." I said, "Please do." So that was after a year. And then Victoria linked me up with you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes.
And that was amazing because Victoria is a friend. She makes my hair too. So she just told me, "Oh, Kemi, I mean, this is my own side of it." So she just called me up like, "Oh, Kemi, I have this friend of mine. She is, well, relatively new in the country. She wants to get into the engineering profession. Is there anything you could do?" And I was like, by myself, nothing I could do. Like, I don't have like a ready-made job to give her, but of course I could give counsel. I could, point her in the right direction, give her some pointers. And that's how Victoria connected the two of us together. And the rest they say is
then she connected the two of us together. And this job I currently have as a reliability engineer, you sent me the link because you saw it on LinkedIn. I didn't see that advert, and you sent it to me, and I would never forget what you said. You said, this is the mining industry, but who knows? Just apply. And I never thought of mining. Never, never. I was just thinking of oil and gas, But then I applied, I told friends about it, and we all got the job, and we're all here now as
Really? So it
reliability
was not just
engineers.
you?
Yeah. No, it was not just me because Valet came to Calgary. So they came to Calgary because I was in Calgary with you.
Yeah,
So
I
they
know.
came. When you shared that link, I shared it with others, and we
Wow.
all attended and we all got employed by Valet. So
Oh my
Valet,
world.
yeah, yes, you see. So you don't know how far whatever you're doing is going. So, yeah, it wasn't
Wow.
just me. We are almost 10 of us here
Oh
in
my world.
Sudbury Valley working as reliability engineers from Calgary. Yes.
Okay. This is
Very
mind
serious.
blowing. Like, you never
Yes.
said this to me, Regina. I was just like, okay.
Yes.
Oh my world. Wow. Okay, I need
Yes.
to meet these guys, let's just have like a reliability engineer valet party.
Yes.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Oh my word. Oh my God. I never knew. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, that's really humbling. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll come back to that later.
We
Wow.
will, because you have a lot of successful immigrants here that you can talk to. So, yeah, you have a lot of successful immigrants here.
Wow. Again, it's amazing how you do one thing and then it ripples. Because for me, all I wanted to do was help people, help as many immigrants, new immigrants as possible, help them to settle in, help them not have to go through the stress that I went through and a lot of other people go through, right? The more the merrier. And like they would say that the sky is big enough for every bird to fly without flapping and
Yeah.
touching each other, right? And again,
Yeah.
they say that you don't lose your light. A candle doesn't lose its light by lighting another.
No, no.
Yeah. So,
So
wow.
whenever we have that useful
Yeah.
information, let's
Mhm.
share it. Because you
Yeah.
don't even know the lives you are affecting with that information. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for that one, Regina. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I'm tearing up. Because I honestly, oh my, okay. Let's finish with this interview. You blew my mind. Ah, so in your journey so far, 2017, you got here
Yeah.
till date.
I went to Australia in 2017,
Okay,
got here in
2018.
2018.
2018 to 2022. So what is the one thing that like you most, I know you've done a lot of things, achieved a lot of stuff. What is that thing that comes up as priority, as one thing that you're most proud of in your journey?
Just looking at how far I've come, how I've evolved. I was leaving Nigeria in 2017. I had high hopes and expectations, but I didn't know I would get here in such a short time. So just looking at how determination and focus, and then especially God.
Yeah.
It has been God all along. So God has brought me this far. So I'm just grateful to God for the opportunities.
Yeah. We thank
And
God. We really
for
thank
the
him.
success.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for the success I've
Wow.
achieved.
So if you had an advice to give to new immigrants, newcomers, what would that be? What would you say to them?
Like my dad told me when I was leaving, don't forget yourself. Don't forget yourself. Don't forget whatever you're doing. So in my case, I'm an engineer. When I was leaving, Dad said, don't forget that you're an engineer. So whatever you are, be it a medical doctor, an accountant, anything you are, you can do that here in Canada, because when we come here, the government of Canada doesn't make us come here to work as, to do menial jobs. No, they approved that application because of whatever you were doing back in Nigeria or wherever you're coming from. So you got that approval because of whatever you are doing. So when you get here, you can do the same thing and even better, even more here in Canada. Yes, so don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who
I mean,
you are.
the terrain can be so discouraging sometimes and tough. The hurdles we have to face as immigrants, it's huge. The challenges, everything. But the most important thing is we need to keep that dream alive. We need to keep believing and keep hoping and keep working, keep networking. Definitely,
it will pay off.
We'll get there.
It will pay off, and you will be so glad you did. You will be so glad you remained focused. Yes.
Thank you so much, Regina. I have a feeling that, at some point, who knows, might still bring you back on the show, to just continue this conversation, because the idea is that at some point we'll keep talking about the challenges we're facing, how we're helping each other, how things are evolving in the immigrants community, just so that, one, we can learn from our experiences, and two, we can encourage other people too, that there's hope. There's hope. We just have to keep doing the right thing and then pushing forward. Thank you so much. And then you turned the show on the head by making me share one or two tears, but that's absolutely fine. And again, that's why I do what I do. Thank you so much, Regina. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for doing this, showcasing what immigrants are doing, and especially encouraging others, making them know they can do it also. So it's really good. Thank you.
The pleasure is mine. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.